Hello, this is Yaakov Kronenberg from Jerusalem, and tonight we'll be starting another series of classes on the ascendant and the ruling planet. Tonight we'll be starting a series on Pisces ascendant, and the ruling planet for Pisces is Jupiter. And so we'll be talking about Jupiter and the different signs as it goes together with the ascendant. And it's interesting, the ancients held really that there's 7 planets, and those 7 planets ruled, and between them they ruled all the 12 signs. In other words, the sun and the moon each ruled one sign. The sun ruled Leo, the moon ruled Cancer, and the other 5 planets, they each ruled 2 signs. Right, one a day ruler and one a night ruler. For example, Mercury, the day ruler was Gemini, and the night ruler was by day, and at night it ruled over Virgo. And similarly with the other planets, they each had 2 rulers, one for the day and one for the night. And the sun and the moon, they only held one, because the sun naturally rules the day, and the moon naturally rules the night. And really, the secret is that the 2 of them are really one planet. Right? They really should have been together. But for whatever reason, today they're not. Right? If you see, both of them are opposed by Saturn, right? Saturn is in the 10th and 11th houses, and it opposes the sun and the moon. And just like Saturn is one, the sun and the moon, they're also like one planet. Right? One ruling the day and one ruling the night. So the ancients held, like we're talking now about Pisces, so Pisces had ruled the ruling planet is Jupiter, and Jupiter rules Pisces by the night, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius by the day. Now the modern astrologers came along, and with the discovery of the new planets, there's 3 new planets, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. People say Pluto isn't a planet, people say it is, but anyway, most astrologers have been using Pluto, and just because people come along and say, well, now maybe it's not a planet, or it is a planet, but there's another million planets besides similar to it, doesn't matter. They're still using it. In other words, they pick up the vibrations of it and feel like it works already. They've been using it for years, and why stop? I have a whole series of classes on the outer planet, and I have my own theory coming from the Jewish sources. The people can, look on my website and they'll find it. So anyway, though, these modern astrologers, some of them come along and say, well, now, since we have a modern planet, Neptune, that its vibrations are similar to Pisces, let's make now Neptune the ruling planet, and let's keep Jupiter just with Sagittarius. Okay? That's the second sheet. And then a third sheet that comes along and says, like my teacher used to say, he used to use both of them. He would look at the main to Jupiter, because that's what the ancients used. And he would also look to Uranus also to get some more information about the person's about the person's ascendant, how it was functioning. And so we'll take a look. We'll try to take a look at both if we can, when we give examples. We'll look a little bit towards Jupiter and a little bit towards Neptune when we deal with a Pisces ascendant. And now the Pisces ascendant, of course, is a very interesting ascendant. It's very hard to understand the Pisces. The Pisces, is like underwater, it's like the fish. The symbol is the fish, My teacher always used to say the fish has no arms. The arms protect themselves, protect the person. They defend off the enemies. And the fish, it has no way to protect itself. It's exposed. And the what do you call it? The survival of the Pisces is through illusion. And I remember my teacher. He was the master of illusion. He was a very heavy Piscean. And Aldous Huxley once wrote an essay about him. He called him the biggest dispenser of illusion in New York City. And that's the Pisces lives in illusion, because that's the way they protect themselves. And a good Pisces, is going to go for the higher stuff. The good Pisces is going to, the Pisces, they want to merge. They want to become one with the universe, the Pisces. They want to get out of their body. They want to escape suffering, and they want to get out of their body. And some of them do it, through religion, mysticism, through, helping people, through, merging with humanity. They're trying to do good for people and things like that. And the bad Pisceans, they go to illusion. They go to drugs, alcohol, anything which, the escapism, the way to dull the pain, through chemicals. So really, the Pisces wants to overcome suffering. That seems to be their challenge. When they come into the world, they see it's a place where you suffer. And so for them, life is about overcoming suffering. And so each one goes in its own way to sort of get away from that suffering. Pisces is a water sign, very, very emotional, very, very caring. They're very, what do you call it? They tend to be, as a rule, they tend to be introverted, right? They're more into themselves. The Piscean, they're very perceptive. They feel everything. They have a tremendous feel. They can feel what people are thinking, feel what people think about them. And so they're overtly sensitive, and because of that, they're easily hurt. And they sometimes guard their emotions because they're so easily hurt. And Pisces also is a mutable sign. It can be very changeable. 1 minute this way, 1 minute that way. Their emotions are sort of changing a lot. And Pisces, like we said, rules the 12th house, the house of enemies, the house of secret enemies, the house of hospitalizations, the house of... it's the house of the soul. It's the person who tends in this world to... Right? They tend to suffer because they see instinctually, intuitively, that this world is a place of suffering, and so they go after the higher. They go after the 12th house, the soul. They go on. Lots and lots of Pisceans go on the spiritual journey. In other words, their life is a life of renunciation, where they go for the inner life as opposed to the outer life of worldly success and what do we call it? The success according to the temporary successes of this world. They tend to run away from, and they go more for the fulfillment of the inner self. That tends to be the Piscean. And starting next week, we'll go through the different possibilities of Pisces ascendant with Jupiter and Neptune in the different signs. And I thank everybody for listening.